Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group. This is video 5 in our Shabby Triple Stack Book video series. Now, I'm thinking this is almost grungy and not shabby, so we may change the name of it to the Grungy Triple Stack Book and do that because it's pretty grunged up. It's not shabby. There's no lace or anything. So please ignore me calling it shabby all the way through. However, grungy doesn't really have ribbons, but who's to say? It's my grungy. Anyway, so when we left off, we had the cover done except for papering. And then we're going to glue it on as a pocket. And open this, and we had these. This is done except for papering and gluing it on. And then on the back, we have this. So this is what I've got so far. I went ahead and did the layout ahead of time, and then that way all we need to do is assemble it. So on this one, my thought is to get this paper clip off. What does this say? Glue to the back as a pocket. Oh, that's what the note was for this. Is to take these and stack them. We're going to have to paper this, aren't we? Is this big enough? Look at that. Just big enough. Yeah, especially because the envelopes are going to come all the way down to the bottom. So we can cover that tiny little gap. Let's go ahead and do that real quick so I don't... Alright, and then we're going to stack the envelopes. So actually we're going to have 4 stacks, but we're going to stack the envelopes, and we're going to try to do it in such a way that there's a pocket between each envelope. Each envelope is a pocket. We glue the whole thing on as a pocket, and then there's the pocket up there. How do you like that? So that's the plan, man. And I'm talking kind of quiet because it is midnight. And my neighbor's asleep upstairs. So let's glue this on. I forgot to fill it. Give it a little swirl so I can slide it around a little bit. And once we put this on, then we can put the thumb hole for this. It's another good reason to not glue them on until they're done. Wow, that was really loud. I could barely get that. That was not cool. Okay, so I'm going to ink this a little bit. Looks like we can pull that far enough apart. I was going to put the piece back in. That's funny. How can that be? Anyway, I think I'm going to glue this piece back in. And it helps cover up the hole. Really sorry, neighbor, about that noise. I had no idea it was going to be that loud. Shouldn't have done it on the glass. So the reason we do this is to kind of hide. Do I want to hide the thumb hole? Yeah, I think it looks better with it. Oh, that seam is right there. That's probably why. Since the seam is on one half of it, I guess that means I got it off center. Okay. Now, I'm not going to paper this part. I need to ink it down a little farther, don't I? I am going to put a piece of paper in here. I trimmed the little side pieces off first. Okay. And then I'm going to put a piece of paper under here and a piece of paper on here. But we're not doing the papering. We're just doing the construction in this video series. So let's see, where do we want to put these? Probably here and here. I have to move this up. I was just going to put 2, and I thought, no, why not? Let's put 3. You know, I think actually and then move this up a little bit. Put a mark right there. And then the top of the whole thing will be right there. Okay. So now we're going to glue these on his pockets, so we're just going to glue along the edges. I was doing some stamping practice, and you can see it's not very good. The snowflake came out good. plus the ink smeared. It was black. These are shiny. You can't really tell, but they're a shiny surface. And so the ink didn't want to dry very quickly, and I didn't realize, and everything smeared everywhere. So now we're using the envelopes for this. Okay, and we'll do the same with this one, only we'll go ahead and glue this one across the bottom. So at least the envelopes got used. I've still got the cards too. Cards were cute. I may have been able to use all the cards actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, there's no way to do that. Okay. So that's actually all there is to that. We'll put, I'm thinking you can either put a pocket or a belly band across here, something to fill in this space. And that's all there is to that one. This one's going to be just as easy. It's going to go over there, and that way the flap won't be too heavy. I'm going to put this over here. Okay, so we've got the CD cover. This is just an envelope. It's not one of the big envelopes with the opening at the top, because that wouldn't fit. So this is going to open. Then this. I'm still tempted to glue this to here. Have the whole thing open like so, and make that a tuck. Yeah. Got this set for a magnet, but I don't think that's going to work, because if I put a window in the envelope, let's put the window in first and then decide. And then this is a small, it's a little bit bigger than a coin envelope, and my friend made this for me out of scrap paper. She did a wonderful job. I thought they were pre-made. Okay. So, these don't come apart near as well. And I've already cut it for the pocket. So we only have to take one side off. Okay. Let's see. if I put it up towards the top, let's see, the flap's going to be on this side. So the magnet would be down here. Cut the window here. I could put it in the middle. Didn't paper it first. Alright, let me put you on hold. Alright, I'm just going to glue the acetate on. I cut the window out. This time I papered it first, and I inked it. Well, I filled up my glue. Now I got glue for days. The other had thickened up as well. So adding the glue to it thinned it out. Okay. This one opened pretty easy too. And I found this scrap that will fit in that window. I think. There we go. Okay, and then all this needs now is to be papered. So wanting to glue this to here. And I think I'm going to. Cut for the pocket already. Let's take a scrap. Perfect. You know, I could just glue it on there. I don't need to cut anything. I wanted to put a magnet on there. I did move the window up on here. I moved it up higher so I could put the magnet on the back. Okay. Okay. Okay, now I want this to come out this way. Okay, now we're going to glue this on here, and then I'm going to, instead of leaving it as a flap, then I'm going to glue here and here. Okay, so now actually, I didn't even need to make those pencil marks. Perfect. So now we have a tuck, or a pocket right here. So let's get this one glued on. Okay. You know what? That's all right. I was going to paper this before I put this on, but that's okay. I can just put a little piece of paper right there. And we'll put this on. Okay. So early in the morning. I'm not even talking at all, I'm sorry. And now what is the deal? Oh, this is catching on that. It was catching on this. I was trying to slide it and it was catching on that. Okay, so this is assembled. And all that's left to do is do the papering, the rest of the papering. And I've got written here a note that says belly band with a window. So I'm just going to cut a piece of paper. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to make a big noise again with the big shot because of the time of day it is. So I've already showed you how to make the windows. So you're just going to cut a piece of paper and put a window in it. Easy peasy. Let's put the other magnet on. Yeah, I don't know why I was worried about the window. Just put it on this side. Let's see. Looks like right about center. This is going to be interesting. Wondering, do you kind of need something? Where's it at? It's right where the window is. So, let's see if about here will do it. Nope, I missed it. Right spot just needs to be up just a little bit. Let's see if that's it. Still not it. Still too low. It's crooked. Who knew that envelope glue would stick so well? Is there some way to fix the magnet up before I glue it on there? No, you know what I'm going to do is I will break down and use a dot. Or you could do like I did on the other ones and use a ribbon. That way it matches. There we go. Because I am never, well, that's way off. I wonder if if it's repelling. Because they're on top of each other. There we go. Look at that. Had the magnet on backwards. So that's what I was talking about. Depending on, you know, the polarity, you have to, can't believe I got that. Anyway, you have to keep an eye out on what you're doing. It's just like when keeping an eye out when you're putting more than one in a stack so that you don't get that where they repel. In this case right here, that showed you how that pushed up on that paper. I couldn't even force it to lay down until I flipped the magnet over, because what I did was I took the magnet here and I laid the other one on it, and then I flipped it back, and then I flipped the paper over and put it down, which made the wrong side up, and that's how that happened. Okay, so all there is to that is done, except for papering it and adding the belly band. So let's go ahead and, are we ready to start putting it together? And this is going to go inside here. So let's tie this. We're not going to trim it till we get done papering everything, which I'm going to do off camera, obviously. Alright, so we want to glue this on. Did I write pocket? No. Wow, I'm having a cramp in my hand. You ever get that? It's so annoying, isn't it? Okay, let's take this out of here. So let's glue this on as a pocket. We've got our ribbon, got our magnet. Okay. Right. Wondering, should we cut the tab even? so it doesn't go to anything. I'm going to leave it. I don't want to take a chance on messing everything up. Yeah, we need to put enough glue to hold all this mess. And then I still need to reinforce the spine. The spine is too big for our project, I'm pretty sure. Three-quarters of an inch was too much. 5/8 would have been fine. But I'm going to wait and see when I paper this. This may be fat enough to support it. We don't know. We need to put the ribbon on to go back here. I have no idea how long to make that. It's got to go over the other stack, but they're going to be right on top of each other. I'm almost thinking just enough to tie it is all I need. This is that piece I took off of the other one. I think I can use it. So we may actually just get this done. Alright, that's too far back. I want to give it the most. Almost had it in the right spot just by looking at it. I just pulled that open. Okay, let's get that done. I think there's some things that I'm going to wait to put it on until I didn't put the thumb hole here. I don't want to make that big noise. And I want to wait yeah, we're going to have to come back one more time. I need to put a ribbon on here. Just reuse the ones that I had used on the other part and then taken off, which I think was here. I think these were the ribbons for here. Because it's right in the right spot. I think I put it on and then changed my mind and took it off. And now I'm putting it back on again. Okay. Yep. And then that'll tie this. This looks higher. It is. Wow, I'm starving all of a sudden. Okay, and then this will be glued in here. We can, however, yeah, this one needs to be, once it's papered, needs to be thumb hole too. But we can go ahead and glue this to here. Finally, huh? And we're going to glue it on as a pocket. Ribbon. Ribbon. Alright, let's put this stuff back in. It's not going to be that much. I wonder if yeah, I'm going to need it. Definitely. These are the wrong sides, but still. So, yeah, it doesn't need to be very long. Because we don't want it to flop open on the back. And the reason I put it where I did is I want it to be, I'm going to have the tabbed card come out right there. So let's just reaching around in the air. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to end up with little scraps of ribbon everywhere. I go through a lot of tape. Okay, and then we will glue this on. Here. Okay, so we've got that glued down like that. You can see that it looks like it's a double spine right there. It doesn't look like it, it is. Look at these ribbons. Whee! Okay, so that's that. That's all we can do right now until I get done papering. All of this. Okay. All right, so which one is the skinny one? Not that one. This one goes over here. That one goes there. And I wonder, yeah, it's just going to be awkward to work with it. So I'm just going to take it out and paper it. And then this will go here. This will go here. And then this will be the, these will be the cards. One of them I'll make for the front, right here where this pocket is. And then the other one will go in the back where the back pocket is. Okay? Okay. I decided instead of making another video that we would go ahead and finish putting it together real quick in this video because we still have 10 minutes left. So I'm going to edit out that's the end of this video. See you in the next video part that's in the end of the part right before this. So what I've done is I've gone back, and it took me all day. There's a lot of paper that goes into papering one of these. I did not do any pockets or any cards. So this is just a basic how to paper it and make it look, you know, the way you want it. And then go back and do 4,000 cards and pockets and belly bands and such. So on a side note, we have a total of 28 magnets in this book. And it took, I believe, 18 pages of paper. All right. So we've got this done. So it goes like this. And I went back and papered. And this. And this. And this. Oops. And then that. And I put in a belly band with acetate with a window in the middle. I didn't put anything behind it. I just left it this paper. So I did put that in. I had that piece, that scrap, and I was like, hey, you can get down a rabbit hole. I'm telling you right now. I did put a thumb hole here for the side pocket. I didn't for this. There's a couple of them I did, like the top pockets, and then a couple that I didn't, just because there was no room or it just didn't go right with the page. So what you would do at that point is make a card with a tab that sticks out the top so people know the pocket's there. All right, so then we've got our center section that's not complete. We have to glue the piece in, or the pieces in. And you can see it's still awful wobbly. So I've got this piece here. I don't know if it's the right size or not. This is like my 4th try. It still looks a smidge big. Okay, I will do that off camera and you'll see it in the flip through. But I still think I need to do something here. I'm going to wait. And the reason I didn't go ahead and make sure, and go ahead and glue it in. All you're going to do is just glue it right on top of the spine right here. And of course I inked it and everything. Is because I wanted to see what happened once we put the pieces in. So I don't know why that says ribbon on there. We did miss a ribbon, and I believe it was in the back section when we were putting things on, and I caught it before we glued anything in. So we're going to take these pockets. Now remember, there's a pocket on the side, and then we put them in as pockets. So we're going to put that in. This is my new dangle that I got from Cassie at Creative Paper Company. I'll put a link to it underneath. Let me put that in my links note. She makes amazing dangles. She made the big one that I normally use, which is this one, which, you know, I may use during tutorials because it's easier to find. And then she made this one, and it's got a butterfly and a dragonfly on it, and I just love it. So anyway, she gifted me this one, which was sweet. Okay. So we'll put this over here. I just got a little carried away. I just got it. And I believe she sells them for $12, something like that. Very inexpensive for the amount of work she puts in. She has to hand do all of the, what do you call them? The jump rings, you know, and makes the little bead dangle parts themselves that hang off. Each one of these is handmade. I saw her make a bunch in about a week, and then her fingers didn't work anymore. She had done so many jump rings that I think she thought her fingers were going to fall off. Anyway, she's a good friend of mine. I guarantee her work. And, yeah. One of my best friends. She's probably be embarrassed if she heard me going on and on. Pretty sure it's Creative Paper Studio. It's spelled with a K. So you could probably just do a search on Etsy under the letter K. You know, for creative, just spell creative with the letter K. Okay. And you want to make sure this is right side up, because your pockets would be upside down if it wasn't. Okay. Get that all in. These are the ones that are a little bit harder to get in. They're usually rounded a little bit. Were we going to glue that in as a pocket? And it's a little crooked. Let's see, can we glue this one in as a pocket? I believe we can. Let's do that. Okay. And then I'll show you this, oops, where I papered it. Oops, just stuck my hand in the glue. And I made the 2 cards for in between, and I made them out of manila folders. Want to make sure you don't have glue on your hand when you're putting it down like that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I may have to glue that front side down, but I think we're all right. Because it is a little rounded, so that's why I'm trying to hold down all the corners. Okay, this is what we ended up with in this section. This is held in by a tie, no magnet, because you see it pop up. There's no way a magnet would hold it. Then it opens like that. I love this picture. And I think Oz is going to bark. There's a motorcycle or something going by. And then this, I put the belly band in. And then this is a pocket. These are all pockets. And this is a writing space, so I wasn't planning on putting anything there. Here, and of course this is a pocket. You'll see that the sections kind of match each other as far as the color scheme within the section itself. And then this, I made a great big pocket along here. Okay. I did remember to cut the ribbons off. I don't think I did on that one. So then when you turn this over, I papered the back. Yeah, see, this needs to be trimmed. Did I add in a ribbon I didn't need? I think I did. Because this ties this shut. This is the one I added. I don't know what. Oh, I just pulled out the one that ties this section shut. Because I'm a genius. I don't know what I was thinking. I'll just yank the ribbon out. Now we have to put it back in. Thank goodness we glued that as a pocket, huh? Because I'm a genius. All right. Yeah, see, that ties that shut. This ties this shut. Okay, this goes over here. I papered this, and I put a thumb hole up there. This is a pocket here. This is a pocket here. This is a pocket here. So I glued the envelope on as a pocket. Then there's the pocket inside. Then there's the big pocket that goes all the way down. And then there's the big page pocket. The same here. I didn't paper these. I may go back and paper them. Because I didn't paper that. I thought it would all match, but I don't know. It looks a little scruffy. So I may go back and put papers like this, you know, smaller papers on there. And then again, you have a pocket and a pocket and a pocket. And then something, you know, would go right here, like a tuck or something. Okay, so let's glue this in. This, I didn't put anything on the pockets. If I'd have thought about it, I would have put something to hold this down. Maybe a ribbon that came from here under the pocket down, and then under this before we glue it on. Before we glue it on. We haven't glued it on yet, have we? Inside the pocket. They're not too bad. I think I'm just going to leave it. Let's glue this in. Now we could glue this in as a pocket. Here's the card for in between the two manila folders. When we glued them together, I made the card out of a scrap that had a tab. Hey buddy, what are you doing? You looking for paper on the floor? I cleaned up. There's no paper on the floor, sorry. I think I will, and then if I want to use it, I will, and if I don't want to use it, then I won't. Because I could put something with a tab at the bottom, and then that would give us another card. And this would be fantabulous. I already like it. I just glued the wrong side. I had it turned around. I know this is off camera. I apologize. I'm just putting glue on it, though. Oz? He saw flyers. That's all it takes. Squirrel. Off he goes. This smaller spine worked fine. So now you see we have the pocket in between, and then we have a pocket right here, just like we do on the inside here. Okay? It's amazing. Amazing, all the pockets. We can do that here as well. This ended up being this. I went ahead and glued it on instead of making it a flip out. I wish I had papered the whole thing all the way down, but I didn't. And then, of course, this is a side pocket. This is a writing space. This is a pocket. And there's a magnet. And this opens. I ended up having to use a Velcro dot here. It's the only one in the whole thing. And then, does this open? No. That's all there is on this one. Little mini stack. Still a stack. That gives us our triple stack. Our shabby triple stack. I love it. I really like this project. I didn't realize how much fun it was going to be. Let's see. Let's do it. I'm finally getting hungry. I haven't been hungry all day. I should have known. Film something and get hungry. Hungry. Did I not put a... Yeah, there's a magnet there. Yeah, the magnet's at the bottom, but it isn't really holding, is it? Just wondering. Looks like that accidentally got stuck shut. Just wondering if there's a way to put a ribbon from in here to behind this pocket. Not sure. Yeah, you can see it just a little bit, but you can't really tell because of all this other stuff in the way. You know, we may not have to reinforce this. Yeah. So that's got everything together. Whoops. I guess I didn't push down on that hard enough, did I? And so that'll be the end. And then, of course, like I said, all the cards have to be put in. All the tucks and belly bands and pockets on all these flaps. And the ones inside and everything have to be put in. Like I said, it took me 14 hours to get this all papered. Now, you might be able to do it quicker. I was watching AGT at the same time. And this was, remember, this is just an envelope. It's not a full one of those big 9x6 envelopes. It's just a little bit smaller because we had this little bit smaller space. Okay. So I'm going to do an actual flip through, so that everybody that doesn't see the tutorial can see the flip through, and then maybe they'll watch the tutorial. What do you think? Or the craft along, or whatever you want to call it. Just because people know how to make an envelope stack doesn't mean they know how to make an envelope, a triple envelope stack book. All right, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the flip through, and that'll be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.